I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So, today's experience, the Drukhari, some of their scouts have discovered a disused, possibly not working Eldari webway gate on the Fairy Kingdom planet, outside of an abandoned castle village kind of place. So, the Drukhari are gonna try and take control of that, but unfortunately for them, or I guess fortunately, depending upon how you look at it, the Night Lords have also spotted this Eldari gate, and they're going to try and take it as well. So for the Drukhari force today, we have this nice little grouping here. We have a succubus, and she'll be leading 5 incubi, 10 Kabbalite warriors, 10 witches, 3 reavers, 2 squads of 5 scourges, a venom, a talos, and a Razorwing Jetfighter. And it just has the basic weapons without the optional things. So for the Chaos Forces trying to take the gateway, we have a Master of Executions, a Dark Apostle who knows Warp Sight Plea, 10 Chaos Cultists, 2 5-man squads of Chaos Space Marines. The aspiring champion in this one has a plasma pistol and a chainsword with a heavy bolter heavy weapon. And this aspiring champion has a plasma pistol and a power fist, and his dude has an autocannon. We also have an obliterator, 5 warp talons, and a rhino. And inside the rhino will be this Space Marine squad and our 2 HQs. Okay, so I will set up the board for deployment, and we will start this happy thing. Okay, I don't expect this space to be blank for very long. So we've got the autocannon squad, the cultists, the rhino, the squad of space marines, the Dark Apostle, and the Master of Executions are in the rhino. The obliterator and the warp talons are in their teleportarium waiting to get called in to do some murderous craziness. So we've got the Kabbalite warriors behind this little wall door thing. The incubi are kind of behind this little house here. The venom hanging out there. Succubi ready to start coming out and bring some craziness. The Cowboys just hanging out behind that. The Reavers back there. We're going to pretend that's on a stand or flying, but it's not currently. And then the Talos is just hanging out inside the castle, ready to come out all crazy. Drukhari won the roll-off, so it'll be Drukhari movement, turn 1. Okay, so the Venom just moved up here a lot closer. The Succubus just kind of moved behind this door. The Reavers advanced way up here, and the Razorwing just flew over there. So Drukhari's shooting phase, which is entirely these 3, not really these 2. Yeah, the Venom and the Razorwing are the only 2 that can shoot and are in range, so we'll do that. Okay, so the Venom did a little bit of damage to the Rhino, and then the Razorwing used its 2 disintegrator cannons and did a little bit of damage to the Rhino, and then a necrotoxin missile that killed a cultist. I don't play Drukhari, but I definitely like that Razorwing. It's got some interesting things. So that'll be the end of the Drukhari turn, because 3 feet is definitely too far to charge. So we'll go over to the Night Lord's turn. 1, movement. Alright, so everybody just... Well, the Rhino moved forward, and the cultists and the Space Marines advanced forward, but not very far. So shooting... The Rhino is the only one close enough to be able to shoot because they advanced. So we'll do his shooting. The Rhino launched its Havoc launchers and shot its Kami bolter at the Reavers and managed to kill one of them and damage another one. So yeah, Still not close enough to charge, so back to the Drukhari turn movement. Okay, so the Venom and Reavers and the Razorwing have all moved forward here. The Cobalites have moved out from behind this little thingy here, and everyone else is just kind of hanging out right now. Shooting phase. This is going to be an enjoyable shooting phase, I believe. So the Venom dumped everything it had into these Space Marines, and they managed to save all of those. The Reavers managed to kill one of these cultists. The disintegrator cannons from the Razorwing did a couple of points of damage to the Rhino, but its necrotoxin missile, man, killed off 6 of them. Like a bunch. Like, they're probably gonna fail morale. Since these guys aren't charging, let's roll morale. It's never a bad sign when you lose like 6 guys and then you roll a 6 and your leadership's only like 6. Yeah, no, they ran away. It was terrible. That makes it the Night Lord's turn. I mean, it still lost an entire squad of cultists. It's not like, you know, 2 or 3 Space Marines or anything. So, movement. Alright, a whole lot going on this time. So the Rhino dropped off the Space Marine squad that was in its belly, I guess. And then it started motoring on again. This squad is just going to hang out here for a second. And the Obliterator has dropped down on the corner edge of the field here. Good line of sight to start taking out these background melee guys that are starting to scare me. So the Psychics still can't see anybody. I don't know why I said Psychics, there's only one of them. But the Apostle still can't see anybody because he's inside the Rhino, so I'm going to Chaos Shooting. So the autocannon in this grouping did some damage to the Venom. And the Obliterator killed some witches. Other than that, everyone pretty much shot at the Venom and the Arena Champion. I guess I lied. The Heavy Bolter killed a Reaver. He failed to hit anybody with both his Kami Bolter or his Havoc Launcher, which was super sad. But the Obliterator did kill 3 witches, so he's doing his job at least. Unfortunately, nobody's within charging distance, so I don't want to charge a Rhino into a Venom. That just sounds weird. So yeah, we're not going to do that. So it'll go to the Drukhari turn. Alright, so the Razorwing just kind of hopped over here. The Arena Champion is coming this way to challenge these Space Marines. The Venom has moved over to challenge these Space Marines. The Incubi have come out from behind the house. The Talos has come out of the castle. The Witches moved over here closer to the Obliterator, and the Succubus advanced very, very close. And some Scourges dropped down behind these Space Marines to help out. I anticipate, if not a complete tabling this turn, or really close to tabling this turn, so let's do some Drukhari shooting. A barrage of, I don't know if it's laser fire or whatever the shard carbines and the various splinter things spit out, but pretty much everything that could fire did, which I think means the Succubus did not. But everything else most definitely shot. The Talos failed to wound on the Rhino. The Cobalites also failed to wound on the Rhino. The Witches failed to wound on the Obliterator. The Reaver Champion failed to wound on these guys, but the Scourges managed to kill off 3 of these guys. And the Venom killed off 1 of these guys. And the Razorwing just kind of missed with everything, which was super terrible. So for charging, this Venom is going to charge into these Space Marines. And the Arena Champion is going to charge into these Space Marines. Yeah. Oh, and the Witches. The Witches will definitely charge into the Obliterator. Well, everybody made their charge. Nobody suffered any damage from Overwatch. Overall combat was kind of weird. So the the witches did a little bit of damage to the Obliterator, and he killed 3 of them in return. The Arena Champion didn't do anything and took some damage. And the Venom killed a couple of Space Marines and also took some damage. Nobody needs to do morale, so that'll take us to the Night Lord's turn. Okay, so the Obliterator fell back. Both sets of these Space Marines fell back. The Dark Apostle and Master of Executions hopped out of the Rhino. And the Warp Talons came in. Things are looking pretty desperate right at the moment. So, yeah. He did do his Warp Sight Police thing, so there's that. So we'll go on to Chaos Shooting. Well, the Rhino killed the Arena Champion. So the only people that are going to charge is going to be the... Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I lied. I was going to have the Warp Talons charge the Scourges, but that's a terrible idea, I think. You know, screw it. The Warp Talons are going to charge the Scourges. We'll see what happens on the other side. Okay, well, they only lost 1 to Overwatch, but then didn't make their distance, so I guess it's not terrible. Either way, that makes it the Drukhari turn. So the Venom is just going to hang out. These Scourges moved over here. The last group of Scourges has teleported in here. Over here on the far side, the Witches are going to remain where they are, and the Succubus has just moved up to get closer. The Cobbleites and the Talos have both shifted over this way. The Incubi have advanced further this way, and the Razorwing has gone back here. Okay, so it feels kind of like Chaos is slightly surrounded, but I thought they were going to be dead last turn, and that didn't happen, so I guess we'll see what Drukhari shooting produces this turn. So, that was some super craziness. The Razorwing, yeah, destroyed the Rhino. The Talos killed off the Master of Executions. This group of Scourges killed this Space Marine. This group of Scourges killed some Warp Talons. And the Witches did a point of damage to the Obliterator. So, yeah, that'll take us to the charge phase, which will be the Witches and the Succubus into the Obliterator. And this Venom into these Space Marines, these Scourges into these Space Marines, and these Scourges into these Space Marines. So yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. So while the Venom didn't make it in, everybody else did. So these Scourges killed off their Space Marine targets and didn't lose anybody. And these Scourges killed off their Space Marine targets and lost 3. And the Witches and Succubus managed to kill off the Obliterator and lost another Witch for the experience. So yeah, that was super crazy. So that leaves us with the Chaos turn, which is this Dark Apostle. I think he has a gun, maybe a bolt pistol. I gotta look. Okay, well that was actually kind of ridiculous. The Dark Apostle shot the Venom for a point of damage. Hell yeah. I guess we're gonna go out in a blaze of glory and charge into the Scourges. Yep, that was definitely a suicidal charge. So suicide by Scourge. A lot of hits in Overwatch. I was super surprised. So yay, Drukhari win, and they get to keep the access to this webway gate and maybe start repairing it or do something else with it. I don't know. So yeah, I meant to do this video with the camera, the video camera, but I've been having issues today with the autofocus, so I made it about 8 minutes into the other video and it was all blurry, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing wrong with that, so more testing. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a good morning. Enjoy. Thank you.